Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Between Monsters and Men. Today, we are going to be searching for the Dover Demon. Farm Road is known as the second oldest road in the town of Dover, Massachusetts. And with age comes an unusual past. There is a passage in the 1914 book Dover Farms by Frank Smith, who was a historian of that age, that states, "In the early times this road went around by the picturesque Polka Rock on the farm of George Battelle, which was called for a man by that name, of whom it is remembered, that amid the superstition of age he thought he saw his satanic majesty as he was riding on horseback by the secluded place." However, that is not the only abnormal event that has occurred on Farm Road. There is a rumor that is still floating around to this day that the land around the Polka Rock was used to bury treasure. There is still evidence of digging around the surrounding area of the rock, but there is no records or proof of any truth to this rumor. But it would be a little odd since Dover is still a little more inland than your typical buried treasure would be found. Out of these last two oddities, nothing is more certain or stranger than what happened in April 1977. There is no better way to describe this odd and little creature, but to dive right into the three sightings that brought Dover Demon its fame. April 21st, 1977, 10:30 p.m. Three 17-year-old boys were driving along Farm Street in Dover, Massachusetts. The names were Bill Bartlett, Mike Mazzara, and Andy Brody. While Mike and Andy were in conversation, Bill, the driver, became alert when he saw something on the stone wall in his headlights. It was small and very much alive. What he saw was nothing like he's ever seen before. Walking upright, unsteady like a toddler, clutching the rock wall with long fingers and toes, the small humanoid figure had a huge bulbous head that was out of proportion for its body, large orange glowing orb-like eyes that stared back at him. The creature's face had no mouth, no nose or ears that were visible. It couldn't have been more than 4 feet tall, and it was naked, hairless, and its skin was an odd peach color. He stopped his car shortly after and told his friends who hadn't seen it. The boys convinced him to turn back around, and they did, but it was no longer there, and they were too frightened to get out of the car to search any further. After getting home, Bartley retells what he saw to his father, who told him not to mention it to anyone. He then drew the famous image of the Dover Demon that we see today. April 21st, 1977, midnight. On the same street, John Baxter, 15, was walking home from his girlfriend's. He was surprised when he came to see another person coming towards him. Assuming it was a friendly face, John called out, but no reply followed. Yet the figure advanced on him. John called out yet again, but nothing. Suddenly, the figure ran off the road and into the forest. Thinking that maybe it was a disabled neighbor, John followed. They raced down to a wooded gully and up to the bank, where on the opposite side of the bank John could better see the figure that now stands 30 feet away. At first, the creature reminded him of a monkey, with feet that wrapped around the top of a rock, but what threw him off was its head, that was the shape of a figure 8, and the large green eyes that was on its face. He claimed he had never seen anything like it before, but realizing it isn't human, and that it could cause him some harm, he quickly took off. April 22nd, nighttime. 18-year-old Willem Tainter was driving with Abby Brabham, 15, on Springdale Avenue, which is 2.5 miles from Farm Road. Abby noticed a little demon on top of a culvert over Trout Brook. The creature was on all fours, facing their oncoming car. Shocked at the sight, Abby cried for Will to get them out of there. By then, Abby hadn't heard the reports that Bill Bartlett and John Baxter made, but she described the creature exactly the same as the other two. But unlike Bartlett's experience, this creature also had green eyes. A year later, Bill Bartlett was in a remote area, parked in his car with his girlfriend when he heard a thump on the back of his car. When he looked back, he said he saw a small figure leaving the scene. He didn't get a good enough look to speculate whether it was an animal or the Dover Demon. Shortly after the 2-day event, the Dover Demon in the town of Dover grew with fame. Out of this fame came forward a man named Mark Sennett of Sherborne, and with his story of seeing the Dover Demon in 1972. Mark Sena exclaimed that he and his friends saw the Dover Demon first one night while they were riding along Springdale Avenue near Channing Pond. What they claimed to see was a strange, tiny creature in the headlights. It was deep in the woods and moving along the edge of the pond. Personally, I'm not entirely convinced in Mr. Sena's story since it came up after the fame. Although he did say he went to authorities and they did nothing, it's the lack of description about the event and the creature that throws me off the most. I couldn't find the names of his friends anywhere, though that could be for their safety as well. So what is it? Is it really a demon, an alien, or an animal? Most who don't believe in the supernatural say it had to be a baby moose or a diseased fox. Bill Bartlett said he knew most of the animals in the area and that the Dover Demon looked nothing like anything he's ever seen. Foxes do appear in Massachusetts, but the appearance of the moose in Dover during the 1970s was at a zero sighting. And even so, by April, a young moose would be 200 pounds due to the moose mating and brooding season not matching up to the sightings. No one can sum it up better than cryptozoologist Loren Coleman. To have a bipedal moose with long fingers and orange skin and no hair and no nose would be more of a phenomenon than the Dover Demon. And this is true. Bill and John both mentioned that the creature had elongated fingers on their hands and feet that wrapped around the wall and rock. Very odd indeed, since no animal in the area has those sort of digits. But a fairy has wings. No, not all of them. Remember that story about the poker rock in the beginning of this video? Well, Loren Coleman theorized that what historian Smith called Polka Stone might actually have been called the Puka Stone after the fairy folk of Celtic folklore. Puka are many things: goblins, fairies, spirits, but they always have ears, a tail, and fur of some sort, of which are usually dark colored. Their favorite shift is of a black horse. They also don't show fear, are mischievous, and like talking to humans when seen. All these attributes are the opposite of how the Dover Demon acted and looked. I think it's safe to say that the fairy can be taken out of the equation. So, alien. The Dover Demon does follow the description of the commonly known greys of the alien world, except for the skin color. The greys are gray and the demon was peach. Plus, there were no UFO sightings during this time period, and the orange eyes, maybe an eye shine, is like an animal. But here's my speculation. This is only my opinion and theory, but I do in fact believe the Dover Demon is an alien, and here is how I came up with that solution. Yes, there were no UFO sightings in Massachusetts during the years of the events. However, there are 3 military bases surrounding Dover, Massachusetts: Hanscom Air Force Base, Coast Guard Base Boston, and Natick Soldier Systems Center. Now, I'm not pointing fingers, and I probably sound like a conspiracy theorist, but hear me out with just the little information that I have found. The Coast Guard base hasn't crossed my mind, but Hanscom Air Force has been open since 1942, although it has been used in less than 1% of the military air traffic and mostly been used for civilian flight. Natick Soldier Systems Center has been made in 1949 and opened in 1952. The center is used for research and testing of materials such as textiles and combat rations, advanced technology, and human performance. Again, not pointing fingers and making claims, but with all the secrets the government holds from us, I wouldn't be surprised if there are mysteries to be unfolded behind closed military doors, or even in plain sight. My other opinion stems on how we have never learned about the biology of aliens, so no one can put a definite on what a young alien may look like or even if their eyes and skin colors can change due to growth. Most human babies are born with blue eyes and change after a few months. Our hair also changes with age and stress. Our skin can get lighter or darker depending on our exposure to the sun. So I'm not putting my stamp on this theory, but compared to all the other opinions such as animals and fairies, I find this one a little bit more compelling. The short story is that over a 2-day period on April 1977, 4 people saw a small, 4-foot orange shark-skin creature much like Gollum in Lord of the Rings in 3 separate sightings in Dover, Massachusetts, a rural location near Boston. The case goes down as unexplainable. I don't know the answer to what really happened, as all the eyewitnesses checked out and were found to be credible by the law enforcement and other people in Dover. Those who knew the teens truly believe they saw what they saw. They were never known for pranks, hoaxes, or even mischief. In 2006, Bill Bartlett, now 46, was interviewed again on the events. He stuck to his story strongly, even replied that he didn't want all the publicity, and that even now he gets calls from random people asking about the Dover Demon. Now tell me, do you believe in the Dover Demon? For more creepy and bizarre, please comment, like, and subscribe.